All right, welcome to a video where we're going to discuss how to make risers move with the cams in your Automata. So let's start by talking about the difference between opening something by double clicking on it. So if, let's say I want to open the circle cam um, and it now opens just that part. However, if I wanted to make an assembly, you can take this and, for example, I know I have a lot more parts than you do. If you drag an assembly in, first of all, it's going to give you an error warning. It's going to pop up. Oh, no, let me do that. You might get an error that says you haven't saved this yet, which is your first indication that you're doing something wrong. But see now how I have an unsaved assembly with an assembly that I brought into it. You don't want to do this way. That's important. Don't do that. Hopefully you're listening. So we're going to get out of that. Don't do it that way. What you do want to do is just always open it by double clicking. Now see, I only have this up at the top, okay? And then I know inside I've brought in some assemblies, but you shouldn't show that. You should just show a bunch of different parts in there, okay? All right. That was order of business number one. Order of business number two is you'll notice that my snail cam probably looks a little different in here than yours does. Yours is probably a lot bigger than that. And a couple students have said, why is it so huge? So we're going to talk about parametric modeling here a little bit. And let's go ahead and find your snail cam, which probably currently looks like that, right? So we're going to open the snail cam. And we're going to make an adjustment. By the way, the color was added only in the assembly environment. That's why it looks like this, and that's fine. So go to modify your change parameters, and let's change that 2 inches to 1.5. Okay, and don't forget to save it. I'm going to make some other changes to the snail cam later. And let's go back to your prototype. Notice it said wants you to update. Now, this may or may not work for you. So if I click that, sometimes it will give you an error. Yeah, it says you can't do that. But if you come here where it says snail cam and there's a little guy, let's undo what I just did here. And you can right click on that and say get latest version, and that should work, okay, and get you the updated snail cam. All right, that was order of business number two. Order of business number three is that in the assignment in Google Classroom is this ruler that you need to go get and upload into your assignment because you're going to be putting that into the assembly also. So get that done. Next is I'd like you to rename your revolute joint that should be in the middle of all your joints. Expand joints. We're going to take this one that says revolute for you. It should be the only revolute that you have. Yours should say revolute. Right click on it, rename it, and call it crank, because the rest of the videos we're going to call that the crank. All right, next order of business is that we're going to make a riser. So we're going to create let's create a new design. Okay, and we're going to create a sketch and draw on the top view. So you're looking at the top. It's pretty easy. We're just going to make a 0.25 inch circle, 0.25, okay? Finish your sketch, and we're going to extrude that circle to 3 inches. Okay, and finally, we're going to round off the bottom part. Do the bottom and not the top. That'll make it easier later. So fill it, and we're going to fill it that bottom edge to 0.125, and that will make it rounded because the radius is half of the diameter. Okay, and let's save this and call it riser. Going to be doing some stuff with that later also. All right, that gets us ready to go with the rest of our assignment. So here we go. Now band joints, find that revolute joint that cranks this. You can tell by if you right click on it and animate joint relationships, it should show you what's going on. Escape stops that from happening. And right click on there and go to home position. This is where it's going to start. Now at your home position, you should have the lowest distance between the top and your camshaft there, and it should be oriented that way. If you don't have it that way, you're going to have to go find those joints and rotate them in order to get them into the right spot, because we're always going to return to home, this home position, and go from there. So this is important that we know how to do this. All right, now a couple little things that we're going to do is we're going to make separate risers for each one of these things, but it's pretty easy to do. So you're going to find the riser that you made. I called mine A riser just to do that. And can we please rename that as, we will rename that. You probably just called it riser, and call it polygon riser. Enter, we'll get it saved. Okay. Now, take that polygon riser and we're going to make 5 copies of it. So we have 6 total risers. So you're going to copy. Okay. Make sure you choose the folder. Sometimes it takes a second for it to pop up, right? I have to click off and click back on to get the folders to show up. I don't know why. Make sure you're putting it in the right spot. And we're going to make a copy of that. And it's going to pop up. I did it in alphabetical order. So there's my polygon risers. Notice I already accidentally had 2 of them. Well, I made a copy. So what we're going to do, now again, you don't have all these different ones. You only have the one. Rename it. And that next one's going to be called eccentric riser. Enter. So you're going to have 6 different risers, okay, that you're going to make. And the last one is called custom. So you're going to just keep making copies and renaming them. Polygon, eccentric, pear, snail. Don't do the circle one. Actually, I'm sorry, do. So polygon, eccentric, pear, snail, circle riser, and then the last one will be called custom riser. So make those 6. Now, I've also given you a ruler to upload into this project. So, so here's what we're gonna do, is you're gonna drag in your ruler. Remember the difference between dragging and opening. Okay. We're gonna attach this ruler to the box so that we can see things that are going on. All right, and so flip it around to the back. We're gonna then make a joint, rigid, and put the middle bottom of the ruler to the middle top. Whoops, I got to rotate that around a little bit. Let's click here. No, this. Where am I going to rotate that guy around? No, I don't want to rotate that. I don't want to rotate that. Let's see. Oh, maybe I want it at 0 degrees. No, I want that 180. I'm going to try that again. Let's see if I can get that. I must have had things facing the wrong way. Let's get the blue facing out and the blue facing out. Oh, wow. Flip. There we go. Okay. So you want your ruler sticking up right in the middle and attached to this. And we're going to use that to make some measurements. All right. Now, next step is we're going to get your risers in there and we're going to make some changes to those. So let's start with the polygon riser. Drag that in. Okay. And then we're going to create our slider joint for this. So we're going to joint. We want our motion to be a slider. Okay. And we want our position. I usually hook up the middle part of it to the top of the circle. Again, make sure things are facing the right way. Okay. And we should have a piece that's sliding up and down. Now, contact set was rough earlier. So we've got a new thing that'll be a little bit easier to deal with um, under a symbol, which is called tangent relationship, which should keep that. So we're going to choose the two components. We're going to choose this one and that one. And that creates that relationship that now when we crank this, it should stay on there. Okay, that's a lot better than trying to do contact sets. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then we're going to edit this thing in context. So this part, we're going to right click on it and we should be able to open it. Might have to do this in, hold on. So here's how this works. I'm going to unexpand the joints. By the way, please rename your Revolute thing that cranks it. Just slowly click on that and rename it as crank so you know which one we're looking at here. All right, because we're going to use that later. So find your polygon riser that you just put in. We're going to right click on that. We're going to edit in place. Okay. I never do capture position. I just hit reverse. Now notice we are working on this right now. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't really need this. And what I want to do is make sure that, first of all, our crank, well, hold on, I have to finish edit in place. Notice you have to click up here. You can't hit escape this time. I want to make sure before I start, sorry, I forgot this, that we take crank and I want to put it, maybe it already is in the home position, but go to home position, make sure it's there in the home position. Then we're going to go to the riser, edit in place. Okay, so right now it's as if we're only working on that part. Okay, see how it grays everything else out. Now what I want to do is I'm going to set this riser to be even with the top. So we're going to do this press pull, and we're going to take the top of that. Hopefully I got it at the, oh, I did a weird angle. Hold on, let's make sure we've selected just the top. So I've selected just the top and we're going to press it down and we're going to select this top. That makes it even with the top right at that spot. Okay. Okay. And then we can finish edit in place and notice that it's even with the top. So when we turn this, we can see it going up and down. And if we look at the ruler, okay, we can see how much displacement that thing has. All right. So we're going to do that with every single one of those risers. Now, in order to see, you can turn off the visibility of whichever riser you don't want to see. And we're going to make them all flush with the top. Now, it's a little weird to do the circle because it's not going to move anyway, but let's just do that. And next thing we're going to do is do some analysis of the movement of those things. All right. Hope that worked out for you. We'll see you in the next one.